Of MLS, each team took to the field wearing special one-off prime blue jerseys made with upcycled Parlay Ocean plastic. It was the last round of fixtures before the league headed into an international break. And we begin our review of the action with the Eastern Conference at Red Bull Arena.
Another clean sheet for Orlando City.
Orlando City's club record unbeaten start continues.
They never stopped running, never stopped chasing. Red Bulls came out flying and then it all fell apart.
Better days ahead for Gerhard Struber's side.
Clark, what a finish!
Your commentators for the New York Red Bulls versus Orlando City are Adam Virgo and Dan Roebuck.
Outswing a fair delivery, terrific stop from Galese. Just tips it over the crossbar. Nilis with a wonderful header. So close for a first goal of the season for Sean Nilis. Caden Clark. Klimala and Royer once again to aim at the pole. Can he take it down? Touch to keep possession, but moving the wrong way, and it's Royer once again, and Clark must score and does! This kid has got game, all right. The teenager once again comes good.
I have to say, the ball that's been brought down there from Klimala was absolutely brilliant and does so well. And Royer's run across the near post creates space for Clark at the far post. And the youngster was in the right place at the right time and has continued his fine form at the start of this season.
Free kick, danger here. Casillas having a look at this. Will be the midfielder! What a strike! Galese could not keep this one out. And the Red Bulls are on the charge now.
Well, he does absolutely brilliantly because the wall jumped, but it's just the quality from Caceres there just to get it up and over. And it's a really important goal for the New York Red Bulls.
Orlando with Jean Moutinho to try and launch this one low trajectory. Caceres, Akindele, this is Pereira. Just wouldn't sit for an Orlando player to put the laces through it. Fabio will hold it up okay, and he will race free here. Still Fabio getting forward, no one with him, will have to go himself. Galese with a stop, pushes it towards Royer. Janssen is there.
They say he's done the right thing there, just hitting it across the goalkeeper. Always going to get a parry. And maybe could have Royer followed in there, but Janssen was there to read the danger.
Orlando need a goal. But in an advanced position, might be able to do something here. Van der Vaart will take it down. Great touch, wonderful finish. Orlando back in this with 6 and a bit minutes remaining. The substitute off the bench and on the score sheet.
Well, finally, I said they need a bit of composure, a bit of quality within that final third. Akindele there cushions it towards him, cuts inside nicely. Good finish there with the right foot, and as poor as Orlando have been in the final third, they've given themselves a real chance now.
Michel is quick as we know. Oh, and he's gone in behind here and still going forward. Can he finish? This is Akindele, lays it off. Oh, Van der Vaart with a big chance to make it 2-2, skies it.
Oh, what a chance this was. And Michel there just shows why he comes on and the pace that he's got to get away from Edwards. Probably the one person you want that to fall to is Van der Vaart, and absolutely skies it.
That is it. Lions tamed for the first time this season. It's the Red Bulls that record a crucial win, and a big one for Gerhard Struber's side. Full-time here, the New York Red Bulls 2, Orlando City 1.
I can see today the next big step in our process. Every single player today show me we are ready for opponents on this level. I think the signature we can see, and we can see in the end a very big performance.
Orlando's defeat meant that only Nashville could boast an unbeaten record in the East this season, but just 5.5 minutes into their game at Atlanta, that was in jeopardy. Miles Robinson's vision and Marcelino Moreno's persistence giving Joe Willis a moment to forget. For a defence that hadn't conceded in their previous 4 games, that was a shock, but the keeper soon had the chance to make amends. Joseph Martinez created the havoc, and Eric Lopez looked to capitalise. Willis stretched to deny him. But soon after half-time, it was Lopez's turn to put earlier frustrations behind him. Moreno and George Bello developing an attack that was given a cheeky conclusion by the Paraguayan for his first goal in Major League Soccer. 2-0 down with less than half an hour to play, Nashville's unblemished start was surely done for, with only the margin of defeat to be decided. Lopez's failure to add to his tally was wasteful, but surely not costly. But suddenly, just in time, the visitors stirred to life. Atlanta keeper Brad Guzan had largely been a spectator, but then he was beaten. From Daniel Lovitz's pass, Hani Mukhtar's finish gave Gary Smith's side something to work with. And 3 minutes later, they struck again. CJ Sapong's pass picked out Matt Lagrasa. The deflection was kind, and Mukhtar had a second. Now the game's momentum was only heading one way. And substitute Dominic Badji almost made it the complete turnaround. That would have been harsh on Atlanta, but Gabriel Heinz's men were left reeling anyway, while Nashville continue on the right track.
The New England Revolution have established themselves as the early front-runners in the East and started strongly at Cincinnati. Brandon Bye's header hit the post before being scrambled clear. Bruce Arena's side struck the frame of the goal twice more before the first half was finished. First through Tommy McNamara's spectacular effort. And then just moments later, Adam Buxa suffered a similar fate as the Revs stepped up their search for a third straight win. Buxa had come off the bench to score in the previous 2 matches, earning a recall to the starting lineup, and he ensured the Revolution pressure was finally rewarded 20 minutes from time, when heading in Carlos Gil's free kick. Cincinnati had picked up their first win of the season away against Montreal last weekend, but couldn't build on that in what was just a second game at their new home. Matt Turner's fine late save from Brandon Vasquez ensured FCC still wait for their first point at TQL Stadium.
Philadelphia began the weekend 3 points off the Revs in third in the East as they faced opposition from the West. And Giovanni Savaresi's Portland found the Union's set-piece a problem. Kacper Shabilko's unchallenged connection with Kai Wagner's free kick put the hosts in front. And 5 minutes later, Jim Curtin's side repeated the trick, this time from a corner. From Wagner to Shabilko once more, but Sergio Santos got the final touch for 2-0. All very welcome for the Union, who've been a little short of goals so far. A third before half-time seemed greedy, but from yet another Wagner delivery, Leon Flack thought he had his first for the club. Sadly for him, video review spotted a handball before he struck. A reprieve the Timbers really needed. Their best chance to make use of it also stemmed from a corner. Marvin Laria's quick thinking, not matched by Felipe Mora's finish. That let-off prompted Philadelphia to make sure, inevitably from another dead ball. Substitute Corey Burke really deserved the goal, but Jack Elliott got it. And they had their first victory over Portland since 2015. A setback for Savaresi after those big wins over San Jose and the Galaxy, but his team really should have had a late consolation goal. Jeremy Abobasi pounced, but then couldn't beat Andre Blake. And Diego Valeri skied his chance for a 100th Timbers goal. It didn't look like it, but Philadelphia have plenty to smile about heading into the international break.
Fresh from a first win of the season the previous week, the Chicago Fire were attempting to build momentum against Montreal. A brilliant ball from Ignacio Aliceda found Fabian Herbers, who was denied by Clement Diop as the major moments came late in the match. Montreal had lost 3 of their previous 4 and owed much to their goalkeeper for preserving parity at Soldier Field. The Senegalese international also saved from Alvaro Madran as the Fire were thwarted again. The visitors then took full advantage at the other end, as Mason Toye marked his return from a month out injured by picking up where he left off. The striker on as a sub has now scored in all 3 of his MLS appearances this season. In a dramatic conclusion, Chicago appeared to have salvaged a point deep into stoppage time as they attempted to avoid a 5th defeat in 6. Centre-back Wyatt Omsberg thought he'd scored his first ever professional goal, but the celebrations were cut short when Chinonso Ofor was found to have been offside in the build-up, and the equaliser was disallowed on video review.
A difficult week off the field for Inter Miami, fined $2 million for roster violations after an MLS investigation into last year's signing of Blaise Matuidi. Their problems on the pitch really should have increased quickly in front of their biggest crown of the season. DC United teenager Kevin Paredes wasted that chance, but another one for the visitors wasn't far away, gifted to them by the Herons' defence. Ola Kamara took full advantage this time. The visitors hadn't scored more than once in any of their previous 6 games, but against such generous hosts, that quickly changed. Paul Arriola's goal was his first since August 2019, and DC's wait for a first away success of the season was surely about to end too. The 16,000 fans in Drive Pink Stadium perhaps weren't surprised. Phil Neville's side had yet to win at home and surrendered their unbeaten away record in Chicago a week earlier. A little more accuracy from Julian Carranza might have changed things. Neither team created much after that, which was clearly a bigger problem for Miami. Bill Hamid stood firm when Nicolas Figal did force an effort on target. But the visitors made their next chance count to end a grim couple of days for the Herons.
Delivered back post, and it's a third for DC United. Second of the match for Ola Kamara. That could be lights out for Miami.
Having suffered an identity crisis off the pitch, the rebranded Columbus crew were back to winning ways on it last weekend.
Zelarayan does it again! And Columbus with a smash and grab.
Next for the champions were Toronto FC.
Through for Schaffelberg! And it's his first goal in Major League Soccer.
Matt Jackson and Phil Blacker watch this one.
And awkwardly, was there to be attacked, and nobody could really do so with conviction. Now comes the counter-attack. Surging through here. Keeps his composure. It's a beautiful finish from Luis Diaz to give the crew the lead, length of the field, under pressure in their own box, and the Costa Rican raced away and found the finish.
Look at that, I mean, that is just so naive from a defensive point of view. Goalkeeper can't influence the play at all. That's really good composure.
Zardes the target, it will run through for Derek Etienne. Couldn't force it in, Zardes can.
Must be offside.
But it's not going to count.
I think he was probably offside off the first one as well. I love this though, the early ball in. Horrible for defenders. Look, everybody facing their own goal. Was clearly offside the second one.
Difficult early moments for Alex Bono and Toronto.
This quick break situation, this is where they really struggle.
And this time by Derek Etienne Jr. Goal scorer in their MLS Cup success last season. Pedro Santos with a ball in towards Zardes, who gets the touch for 2 and gets his first goal of this MLS season, doubling the crew's lead already.
Brilliant, brilliant goal for Zardes, superb. Look at the work he's doing, top of the screen, working really hard to get down there. The overlap is superb. He continues his run forward. That's just a fine finish. You get a bit of luck with this contact. Where does it go? That's fine. Bounce over the goalkeeper, take your goals whichever way they come.
That is his 50th for the Columbus crew in all competitions. Long way back from here for TFC already. Some purchase in the shot. Akinola then trying to get there. And is able to follow up and halves the deficit. Could be a crucial goal for Toronto, scored by Ayo Akinola, and that does put a different slant on things.
That's poor from Columbus's point of view as well, and they should react better. See, they've got 5 back. But well done, Akinola. Fine finish in the end.
Zelarayan will assume responsibility for the corner. So whip it in, and it required the save from Bono. Josh Williams was the player hoping to profit against his former club.
Yeah, good save. Sharp reactions.
Derek Etienne Jr. again. Looking rather hopefully for the free kick, which isn't forthcoming. Instead, it's Bradley.
Chance here with bodies going into the box.
Araya, it's touched off for Michael Bradley.
Oh, it was always going to lead to a chance. They just had so many numbers going forward. Great save.
Columbus hang on to record back-to-back victories going into the international break.
Positive first half. We're going to build on that. Got to kill the game. You know, I want to make sure that we don't let a team hang around and give up that first goal to make it 2-1. But pleased that we were able to get the result.
To the Western Conference now, and a big test for expansion side Austin FC away at leaders, the Seattle Sounders. With 20 minutes left, they were almost passing with flying colours, but Jared Stroud couldn't beat Stephen Cleveland. The possibility of a shock defeat finally stirred the Sounders from a sluggish display. A spell of pressure given added impetus by João Paulo, whose cross was turned in by Fredy Montero at the far post. But the Colombian's bravery proved in vain, because the video review spotted that his teammate Raul Ruidiaz had strayed offside. Seattle coach Brian Schmetzer presumably expected better than a second successive home draw, but in truth his team deserved little more. Christian Roldan's late header summed up a rare toothless display. Austin surely delighted with a point from their latest road trip.
Sporting Kansas City were Seattle's nearest challengers in the West going into Week 7. They hosted the Houston Dynamo in front of a full-capacity crowd at Children's Mercy Park, but fell behind early on when Matias Vera scored his first ever MLS goal. SKC's response came in the second half, and it was certainly spectacular.
Busio. Gianluca Busio! A touch of class from the 19-year-old! And just listen to this stadium erupt!
That sparked a frantic period of play. Houston were without a victory in 11 MLS away games since winning here 5-2 in August last year, but were close to swiftly restoring their lead on the counter-attack. Timilia save from Maxi Urruti before Graham Zusi cleared. The home side was soon back on the attack though, and were awarded a penalty when Alan Pulido was caught by Boniek Garcia. Referee Drew Fisher pointed to the spot, and the Mexican striker assumed responsibility himself.
It's Pulido, and it's 2-1. The comeback kids are at it again.
SKC were now on course to win, having conceded the first goal of the game for the fourth time already this season, and they sealed it shortly afterwards.
And Kinda slots it into the back of the net. It's all Sporting Kansas City now.
Brady Kinder's goal was a third in 14 minutes for the home side, which meant although Houston and Maxi Urruti had the final say in the scoring, this added time effort was too little too late for Tab Ramos's team. Defeat for the Dynamo and a third straight victory for SKC.
The first Cali Clasico of the season found both protagonists a little short of confidence. The Galaxy's heavy loss at Portland was certainly a shock, but Kevin Cabral seemed to offer a fresh start. The French striker denied his first MLS goal by Tanner Beeson on the line. The Earthquakes were perhaps happy to be on the road after 3 straight defeats at PayPal Park. JT Marcinkowski's touch would be a problem anywhere, but Efrain Alvarez couldn't capitalise. That was wasteful, but seconds later the home side were out of luck. Daniel Steres beat everyone but the crossbar. And then Jonathan Dos Santos found Tommy Thompson in his path to goal. Greg Vanny's frustration grew, but San Jose's last gasp defending couldn't hold forever. Samuel Groncier's pace and physicality created an opportunity Beeson could only help on its way. The Galaxy deserved their advantage, but the job of hanging on to it fell almost entirely to their goalkeeper. Jonathan Bond became a very busy man in the latter stages, first off his line smartly to meet the threat of Andy Rios. Matias Almeida's side had one more chance to snatch a point, in fact 2. First Rios, then Shea Salinas were repelled by the wall called Bond. San Jose's bright start to the campaign now a distant memory, while the Galaxy have a new hero and 5 wins so far.
While the Galaxy have been in fine form, City rivals LAFC have endured a sticky start to 2021. Hoping to record successive victories for the first time this season, they took the lead against NYCFC 10 minutes into the second half. Corey Baird, the scorer. The visitors came into this cross-conference clash in California without a victory in 3 matches, but didn't let heads drop after going behind. Indeed, they were back level with 20 minutes to go, thanks to a fine finish from the in-form Jesus Medina. His 5th goal of the season already. Ismail Tajuri-Shradi had opened his account for the campaign against Columbus last week and was close to another, having come off the bench this time. His spectacular strike hitting the outside of the post. NYCFC would perhaps have settled for a point when they had Nicolas Acevedo sent off late on. His challenge on Latif Blessing bringing about his 2nd yellow card of the contest. Being down to 10 men didn't prevent Ronnie Dyler's side from completing the turnaround. Tajuri-Shradi perfectly placed and unattended to get his goal after all in the last minute of the 90. A win away in LA appears one of the most significant of Dyler's time in charge so far, and was secured in stoppage time when Sean Johnson saved from Danny Masovsky. Bob Bradley's team suffering a 3rd defeat in 4.
The Colorado Rapids and FC Dallas played out a goalless draw on the opening weekend of the season, and if that was an underwhelming memory, Keegan Rosenberry soon banished it. The Rapids right back with a strike to continue their recent goal spree at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. They'd put 3 past both Minnesota and Houston, and Diego Rubio could hardly have come closer to number 2 in this one. Robin Fraser's side soon had another chance to assert their dominance. Nicolas Mesquida's tumble in the box was bad news for Dallas keeper Jimmy Mara, but worse for Bressan, the Brazilian defender guilty of a foul according to video review. But by the time Rubio stepped up to the spot kick, Mara had fully recovered. The visitors scrapping hard to stay in the contest, but before half-time, their luck ran out. Jack Price's corner eventually found its way to Austin Trusty, who'd ventured into unfamiliar territory. The centre-back hit the target, and the unfortunate Tanner Tessman did the rest. A 3rd successive away defeat was heading Dallas's way, unless they could hit back quickly after the break, and they so nearly did. Frank O'Hara got the better of Danny Wilson, but he couldn't beat the combination of William Yarbrough and a crossbar. Luchi Gonzalez's men would get no closer to a comeback, and they were ultimately finished off by a familiar face as the Rapids maintained their impressive strike rate for the season on their own patch.
Oh, what a goal! What a strike from Michael Barrios! The former Dallas player has haunted his former side.
Colorado's Rocky Mountain rivals Real Salt Lake hosted Minnesota United in our final game. Damir Krajlak had scored a late equaliser in RSL's previous match at Dallas last week, and it was the Croatian who opened the scoring early here, capitalising on the service provided by Aaron Herrera. Justin Meram was close to doubling the lead against the Loons heading towards the closing quarter of an hour. He'd only just come off the bench before bringing a flying save from Tyler Miller. Minnesota made the most of it by equalising shortly afterwards, although there was more than an element of fortune about Nico Hansen's debut goal. It was a horrible moment for Zach McMath, who was making his first appearance of the MLS season. The keeper's attempted punch hit Hansen and somehow squirmed in for 1-1. Losing their first 4 this year, the Loons are now unbeaten in 3 and might have snatched all 3 points, only for Michael Boxall's late header to flash narrowly wide.
RSL and Minnesota stay exactly where they were in the Western Conference standings, as do Seattle in first. But their lead at the top has been cut to 2 points by SKC after their win against the Houston Dynamo.
New England have extended their lead in the Eastern Conference to 3 points, with Philadelphia up to 2nd place. After Orlando's defeat to the Red Bulls, Nashville are left standing as the East's only unbeaten side, but they've slipped 3 places to 7th.
It was a weekend of impenetrable walls.
Matt Turner, a massive save!
Senior by double save!
Statement wins.
NYCFC have won it here at Bank of California Stadium. And it's a 3rd for DC United.
And a 2-0 Red Bull lead.
And individual brilliance.
A touch of class.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.